Today we're going to talk about fear. It seems like a very common theme in riding. Well, what I want to talk about is really kind of dismantling the whole concept of overcoming fear. Because do you really want to have zero fear? No. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'd like to, in this next hour and change, develop a healthier relationship to fear. Okay, because a little bit of fear is a little bit good. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're going to focus on. How to talk. We're going to talk about fear. We're going to try and dismantle what happens when we get afraid, and then some tips, techniques, strategies for dealing with fear. Now, we call it overcoming fear. Some of you may overcome some of your fears about fear. But will you overcome fear? Probably not. But maybe we can make it just a little kinder and gentler. So sports psychology, you guys are, anyone completely unfamiliar with sports psychology? Super. Okay. So we like to try and give you guys new ways to think. Use your brains, emotions, and anything but, well, and your body to help you perform, learn, anything better. Anything that you're trying to do, I try to help you do it better. So what we're mostly going to focus on today is thinking, because I believe that everything starts with that, and I will show you how that kind of happens. Okay, so there's a couple of different things when you talk about fear. There's anxiety and there's fear. So we're going to talk about fear versus anxiety. Anybody ever thought about that there might be a difference between fear and anxiety? Yeah, there is a difference. And sometimes if you can tease out those definitions, it can make your relationship change, just like that. So we're going to break it down, how fear develops, where it comes from, how it impacts you physically, right? Huge physical response to fear, okay? How it impacts you mentally, and then the mental processes that you get stuck in. You ever notice you get afraid and the same thing happens? Same thoughts, same everything? Okay, we're going to see if we can help figure out some ways to interrupt that. Types of fear. There's different types of fear. We're going to talk about that. And then genres of fear. Genre is probably the wrong word, but I just like saying it. So we're going to talk about some solutions and how to apply them and if they apply to you. All right, sports psychology. Increasing performance through mental skills, training, and practice. Okay? Anything that you learn here or anything that you learn from a friend, a trainer, a book, a video, anything that you learn, can you just all of a sudden do it immediately and not have to practice it? Sports psychology is the same way. Same way, okay? So whatever you want to get better at, you have to practice. All right, so everybody's pretty familiar with sports psychology, so I'm just going to skip the how, why, when, where. Anyone have a question about that, or are we okay to keep going? Okay, super. Now, like I said, I like for you to participate because I know this stuff, right? But I want to know what you want to know. So if you have questions in the middle, anywhere, please raise your hand and let's talk about it, especially if it applies, because I can almost guarantee anything that you're thinking, there are at least 3 other people that are thinking and feeling the same, okay? So you saying it might take the pressure off of somebody else and help them, okay? All right, so here's where Sharon's going to get her workout. Let's talk about fear. What are you guys afraid of? So we can, and someone, who would like to take a couple of notes for me?
I'll take notes.
Super. So we'll try and develop some themes or maybe some specifics about what people are actually afraid of. So what are you afraid of?
Well, now that I've analyzed it, I think the deep-seated fear is being out of control.
Okay.
So that's why spooking frightens me, but an extended canter does not, because I didn't choose the spook.
You didn't choose the spook. Okay, I like that. Okay, anyone relate to that? She doesn't. She's got a cast on her wrist. Should have raised the other hand. Look, I broke my wrist. Did you do that on a horse? Oh, no. Yes, you did. Okay. All right, good. Okay, what else? What else? So losing control, not losing control, being out of control. Yes? Getting hurt. Anyone else have that? Raise your hand, cast. Okay, what else are we afraid of? Over here and then over here.
Not remembering my test.
Not remembering your test. Absolutely. Anyone ever go off course? What? Even with a reader. I have seen that. I have seen that. I have seen that. That's excellent. You know, about, I don't know, 15 or 20 years ago, USA Today did a survey. What people are afraid of. Number 2 was death. Number 1 was public speaking. Serious. Not kidding. Yes?
I get afraid when I come out of the blue, I relive the bad injury I had.
A bad injury. So out of the blue, you relive a bad injury that you had.
There's nothing to worry about.
Right along, nothing. Yeah. You're completely insulated in a bubble. Your horse can't hear or see anything. And okay.
I just relive, I fell off and broke my back.
She fell off and broke her back. Anyone else have that? Oh, come on. Not break your back, but worry. You relive. You worry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks. What else? What else are we afraid of? The more you guys tell me, the more we can. Yes. Being underprepared. Atta girl. Yes. We're going to talk about preparation. What does fear feel like? Now we've kind of started to touch on it, and you don't necessarily have to answer this out loud. But if you think about it, what I want you to start to do is think about what happens when I get afraid, okay? Because knowledge is power. And most of us, and everybody, almost everybody that I work with and that I see, you get afraid and your brain leaves the country, okay? And can you do anything about that if your brain is gone and over there in France having a baguette and a glass of wine? No, absolutely not. But what I want you to start to think about, work with me. What does it feel like when you get afraid? What happens? So just start to meditate on this. Yes? Sweaty palms, yep. Stomach. But heart rate, stomach. Your stomach drops out. Keep a physician on hand. Your neck gets tense? Yep. Yes? Your mind goes blank, yes.
Stop breathing.
You stop breathing.
Your horse becomes afraid.
Your horse becomes afraid, yep. Yeah, so a lot of things happen. We're going to keep talking about that. What happens? So be thinking about that. Okay, what really goes on? What happens for me when I get afraid? What does it look like? You know what's funny, though? What's really funny is I work with a lot of riders, and I do clinics. I do mounted clinics. And I will be working with someone, invariably, this happens every clinic I've ever done. I'm working with someone and they're like this. Riding around, la, la, la. And I stop them and I go, how you doing? And they're like, I'm terrified. And I'm like, well, then inform your face. I mean, it was, really, no kidding. I mean, you know what I'm talking about? They ride around and they're like, perfect. Terrified. How does that happen? Okay, so you have no idea what you look like when you're afraid. I'm sure your students have no idea that you're afraid, right? We are masters of disguising our emotions, okay? Horses are not, right? So we can be like this, like, hi, so good to see you, Janet. I hate her. Hi, how have you been? Mwah, mwah, right? Never know, right? Horses, you're like, I got it together. I'm okay, Spunky. We're going to be just fine, right? And they don't know. And then they feel this energy from you, and they get all confused, and that's where it just really starts to go downhill. So start to think about, what do I look like when I'm afraid? Especially if you have a fear issue and you want your trainer to help you, you might need to inform your face really for them, okay? So on the flip side, what does it look like when someone else is afraid? I told you, I do these clinics and I see people and I have no idea that they're afraid. So what does it look like when someone else is afraid? Does that mean anything to you? Does that give you an insight into what goes on for you? It's interesting, right? It's so personal and so individual. Have you ever thought about that? Because fear is not that easy to deal with. right? It is a rather unpleasant emotion. So we avoid it at all costs, and we also avoid dealing with it at all costs, pretty much. What don't you do when you're afraid? Relax. Keys to the kingdom there. Breathe. Yeah. Oh my God. That is the biggest one. And, you know, you see people writing, they're like, move your left arm. Do what? Right? What else don't we do? Don't face it. You don't face it. You don't smile. You don't smile a whole heck of a lot when you're afraid. No, that's a good point. Yeah. Don't face it. What else? What don't we do? Think clearly. Do you think clearly when you're not afraid? I have trouble with that just kind of in general. But yeah, you get the tunnel vision. Somebody snorted. That was excellent. You're right. No, you don't. You get afraid and like your mind goes out the window. And when do you really need it the most? What the heck?